All right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to our special edition of Fireside Chats in celebration of Black Maternal Health Week. I'm Sharice Holden, the founder of SheRises, a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering young mothers, and our mission is to reach, inspire, strengthen, and empower young mothers in our community. Well, just in case you didn't know, this week is very, very important. This week is dedicated to a crucial conversation on Black maternal health. Black mothers in America face a heartbreaking reality that are just really impacted by negative birth outcomes, which we experience higher rates of maternal mortality compared to other races. This disparity is completely unacceptable. So, during Black Maternal Health Week, we want to amplify the voices of Black mothers, raise awareness of inequities, and explore positive solutions to create a healthcare system that prioritizes the well-being of mothers, especially Black moms. So, throughout the series, we'll be joined by incredible Black mamas, healthcare professionals, advocates who will share their stories, expertise, and provide actionable steps that we all can take to ensure that Black mothers have the access to care and resources that they deserve. So, we'll be discussing every single thing from navigating the healthcare system to building resilience as Black mothers to mental health, all of the things. So, what I want you to do is to settle right in, grab your cup of tea or your favorite beverage of choice. No judgment here, no judgment here. And I want you to also share this. So, just take a moment, grab all of your things, and we're about to get ready to have some powerful conversations as we celebrate Black Maternal Health Week together. Now, I have an amazing guest because you guys know I always bring you like the very best because that's what we do. And I have the amazing Ashley, who is the founder of Blossom Grow and Wellness Center. Ashley, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing well and I'm happy to be here.
We are so happy that you are here. So, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, all of the things, because we're like, wow, she looks like a plant mom. Is she a plant mom? I just want to know all things about Ashley. So, tell
Mhm.
us a little bit about who you are.
Yes. All right. So my name is Ashley Kansinally. I am of Caribbean descent. My mom comes from Trinidad and my dad comes from Guyana. And I was born in Brooklyn, New York. So I got a lot of things going on here culturally. But I am a novice plant mom and I'm also a cat mom. So those are some of the things about me. But professionally, I am a licensed clinical social worker. And I am also a yoga instructor. So I'm the founder of Blossom and Grow Wellness Center, where we specifically target Black women, but specifically the maternal population. So we are here to help moms and help women and just help them show up for themselves, practice good self-care, take care of their mental and physical, and just develop habits that are going to kind of help them for the rest of their lives. And we do that really with focusing on mental health, focusing on the movement and mindfulness with yoga, and then also using massage therapy because that has a lot of great impacts on your mental and physical well-being as well.
Wow. Can we all just say that's pretty amazing? Because you said all of the things. And I was right. She's a plant mom. I knew it. I could tell by the plants.
It's
I
just
could
the beauty right here.
tell by the plants because my daughter's a plant mom. And I'm like, when they start growing and you start trying to
Mhm.
intricately weave them everywhere, that means you're a plant mom. I know it. So let's just get into some real honest conversation. So I have a question for you. You
Yeah.
mentioned that there are some negative birth outcomes that are related to being Black and just the lack of care that we receive, and mental health being a significant factor. Can you talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you've seen with Black mothers that face during pregnancy and postpartum?
Yeah, of course. So there's so many things that come up, right? So in general, we have you being Black and then we have you being a woman. And both of those independently come with their own set of issues. And then you combine it together and it just kind of compounds that, right? So with the being Black component, there's generational trauma that can already be existing. And then Black people in general sometimes have a negative relationship with the healthcare system, just because there's that mistrust from years of us not being treated well by the healthcare system. So those two things alone can already impact the mental health because if you're coming in with that and then you're already having your own negative experiences with the healthcare system, that's going to compound on top of that as well. Right. So during pregnancy, if you're not being listened to by your provider, if you're not feeling heard, if you're not getting the support that you need, and then this continues throughout your actual delivery and your postpartum period. Let's say you have a traumatic birth experience because, again, you weren't being listened to, or things were done to your body that you weren't okay with, all those things are going to lead to you possibly dealing with some kind of mental health conditions. And then those are going to continue into the postpartum period if they're not taken care of.
You said a lot of powerful things. You talked a little bit about how sometimes because we haven't been treated well, it lingers over. So talk a little bit about some of the stigma around Black mental health. Like I know for me, growing up, it's like, oh, you don't need therapy. You don't need that. You just need a little bit of Jesus. That's all you need. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, it's absolutely a thing. I think it was definitely way worse than it is now, but it's something we still struggle with, because if you have a parent that's of the baby boomer generation, that's what you heard growing up, and that's what you may still be hearing from your parents, that you don't need a therapist, that you just need to go to church, you just need to pray about it. And of course, those things have their place as well, but they work in a completely different way than getting actually professional help, right? So those biases that we have from our upbringing, from our culture, don't help. And on top of that, for Black women specifically, we have this like superwoman syndrome, right? So we don't want to ask for help. We feel like we're supposed to do it all. And then there's like this shame that comes from that. So shame can lead to you not wanting to ask for help out of either the fear of what your parents are going to say, or your peers, if you're saying that you're struggling. So it's a very unfortunate thing that we do deal with. I think we've been getting better, but we're definitely not over that yet.
Wow. Okay. So I'll raise my hand and I will say that there is a lot of shame with like because we've conditioned ourselves, like especially in the world of social media, to be super mom. Like I can do all of the things. Like I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do all of the things. Or we don't even consider, like we know that childbirth and raising a family is like a huge life change. We know that, but we think that we can do all of the things. We think that we can handle it all, and then we've sort of like, oh, if I'm not doing it all, then there's something wrong with me.
Exactly.
Or because my mom did it. My mom raised 5 of us, and I just have one. Why can't I seem to get myself together? Like I just need to work a little harder and I just need to do a little more. So have you ever experienced that, or how do you handle that when a patient comes and says, I thought I could do all the things because my mom did it, or saw my grandma do it, or whoever did it, they saw it. And so they had this false reality ingrained into their minds that I have to be able to do it all. And how
Yeah.
does that impact us?
Yeah. Sharice, it really is a problem, because that really is still what's happening. A lot of moms that are, in the millennial age or even younger are looking at their parents and feeling like they can't, like feeling bad if they're struggling and their parents were able to do it. And they're probably getting that reinforced still by their parents. So if they made it to me, it's probably more than likely that they've been suffering in silence for a long time. And didn't come to get help until something traumatic happened, or until it just got really kind of unbearable, unfortunately. So at that point, I just reassured them that their feelings are valid, and that, this is an extremely difficult period of time for them, especially depending what they experience throughout their pregnancy, throughout their birth. There's so many contributing factors that I don't even think people consider when we're looking at postpartum and looking at how we're doing mentally and mood wise in postpartum. So I just show up, hold space, provide that support, reassurance, and I try to catch people in other areas to kind of still share that. So whether I do like a new mom support group, or I attend an event, I just kind of try to share this information, because I don't think more Black women need to hear it. So I just try to kind of put it out there as much as I can.
So you mentioned something called triggers. What are some things that if we're momming it up right now, or we know a mom friend, what are some things that we should be looking as potential triggers?
Triggers for what exactly?
So for example, like, hey, I really need some help, but I'm not sure if I'm one of those people. I don't know if I'm experiencing postpartum
Mhm.
depression. I
Okay.
don't know if it's just me just going through the emotions, or I'm just having a bad day, or like, what are some of those early warning signs that, hey, I really need to get this under control?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. So we all know that when we're pregnant, our hormones go through a big change, right? We have an influx of hormones, and then when we give birth, we have a big drop in those hormones as well. So that big drop can lead to a lot of things. That can lead to crying spells. That can lead to you feeling down. And so we expect that in the postpartum period. So what we say as professionals is, if these things are lasting more than 2 weeks, then it's something of concern, and then you want to seek additional evaluation, right? So that's kind of the difference between like the postpartum blues, that's that first 2 weeks. And then after that, if we're still seeing things like extreme fatigue, not connecting with baby, feeling extremely overwhelmed, unexplained crying spells, not wanting to get out of bed, not wanting to feed baby, um, things along that lines. And then even as far as to like, if you're having thoughts of wanting to hurt yourself or hurt baby, those are things that we're like, okay, now get us, go ahead and come in, let your OB know what's going on, or reach out to one of these lines, that we have out here, like 988, or other resources to kind of just get that extra help. So if you're somebody that's around a new mom, it's just kind of you paying attention to and kind of seeing if mom is struggling for Pat is more than 2 weeks and mom is still struggling. And then maybe just kind of um it's a hard conversation to navigate. So you have to come at it with love and compassion. And maybe you
Mhm.
can tell them that, you can go with them to an appointment, or, you can reach out to the provider and schedule the appointment for them. But, just kind of showing up and holding space, and first maybe asking like, hey, do you feel like, you're struggling? Or do you feel like, this is like, what's going on? Gather information before you kind of go in and like attack and be like, oh, I'm seeing this, and that, because that's a quick way to get her to shut down.
Yeah, so good, so good. So, what do you think are some practical strategies that Black mothers can take to sort of manage some of these health challenges as they're dealing with pregnancy and postpartum?
Yeah, I think the big thing I would say is just trying to be as present as you can, right? Being in the present moment. So practicing mindfulness, which could be as simple as just paying attention to your breath. So just naturally noticing your inhales and your exhales, and just kind of taking some time to do that. So a practical thing could be like, when you're washing your hands, doing mindful hand washing. So, like, really kind of paying attention to the soap on your hands and the feeling of it, and just trying to focus only on that. Because if you're doing that, you're in the actual present moment. You're not thinking about the future. You're not in anxiety, which is future oriented. You're present. So, that's one tip. And then another one of my favorite grounding tools that I use in my therapy treatment is the five senses, which is, what's look around, and what's five things that you can see, what's four things that you can physically feel, what's three things that you hear, what's two things that you smell, and then what's one thing that you taste. And for most people, as they're going through this, they don't even have to get through all five senses. Just probably by getting through, the first two, you're already back in the present moment. You're already feeling better, because you're not in that high state of anxiety or stress anymore.
Listen, I feel like I need that right now.
Yes,
Because Lord
yes.
knows we're trying to get this technology together was a whole thing.
It
And
works
I
for so many things.
all the things like this works for everybody. So even if you're not a mama, this
Yeah.
works for the dads too. This works for
Mhm.
the people who are in the corporate world. This works for the entrepreneur. We all need to be practicing mindfulness because
Absolutely.
it's a thing, and practicing the five senses. So hopefully you're going to send me some type of tool or resource or PDF so we can shoot this out to everybody, because I feel like that was like gold right there. If you're just hopping on, we're talking to Ashley, who is the founder of Blossom Wellness, and we're talking about all things mental health for Black Maternity Health Week, and
Mhm.
how Black women typically have a lot of challenge. We got to stay strong. We got to do all of these things while we're silently suffering. So we're just bringing some light to a very dark situation, because mental health is an issue. And I'll dare say this, and I know that it's still kind of taboo right now, but I think that in the wake of COVID, it feels more socially acceptable to talk about mental health. Like prior
Mhm.
to COVID, is like, no, we don't talk about that. but I'm seeing like we're opening up, and I absolutely love that so much to see that we're finally having these real conversation. We're raising our hands and we're saying, you know what? I may not be okay. And you
Mhm.
know what? It's absolutely okay to not be okay, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I say
Okay,
that all the
let's say
time.
it again. We're going to say it again. It is
Mhm.
absolutely okay to not be okay,
Yes,
right? So
yes.
let me ask you this. You talked about mindfulness, you talked about the five senses. What are some other resources and support systems that might be available to Black mothers or any mothers, really, to be honest, to help
Mhm.
them prioritize their mental health?
Yeah. Well, of course, I would say if you're local, my organization, because we really do focus on maternal mental health and maternal wellness. But just finding any organization that's near you that has that emphasis. National organizations, I would say, is PSI, Postpartum Support International. They're a really, really good one. They offer like new mom support groups, and they offer connections to different therapists and training. So, like the training that I did in perinatal mood and anxiety disorders, I did through them. So, they are a great resource with a directory as well to connect you to different therapists. So, that's the main one I would recommend. And then from there, you can probably find smaller or local organizations that are near you.
So you talked about local things. Tell us a little bit about what you do at your center.
Yeah. So if you missed it in the beginning, we do mental health therapy, we do yoga, and we do massages. So we really kind of have an integrative and holistic approach to really kind of helping with mental health and to really look at the whole person, right? Because studies have shown that we need a lot of different things to kind of feel our best and be our best, and you can't just focus on one component. You really got to look at the whole person. So with the therapy, we are addressing specific mental health conditions if they exist, or we're also helping with life changes, because I think too often people don't think about going to therapy because they think that you have to be crazy or have something really wrong with you, but a life change, becoming pregnant, is a good enough reason to go, because you want to learn healthy coping skills to kind of help you as you navigate this time period, right? And then we do yoga, which is just a mindful based or movement based meditation. So in the classes, there's all different types of classes, but we're focusing on you becoming more aware of your body, being more in the present moment, focusing on your breathing, and just developing these good habits that can help you improve your sleep, can help improve digestion, just like help you in so many ways. And then the last component is the massage therapy component, which can also help with a lot of physical ailments, also help with insomnia, also help with mood disorders as well. So all of these really work together to give you to help you kind of find that excuse me, optimal health.
I absolutely love that. Like you're not even just looking at one facet of the person, you're looking at the total person. And I love that integrative approach towards this. So let me ask you another question because this I'm just so intrigued by this because we want to sort of shed some light on what therapy really is and what it is not.
Yes.
Because we all have watched something on TV where we see someone lying on a couch and they're just talking into thin air, and the person's like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Tell us what would a typical therapy session look like?
Yes. So that is a type of therapy that's usually more like Freudian based. A lot of practitioners don't practice that anymore. There's a lot more modalities that are more common now, like CBT or DBT, just a whole bunch of different things that
Okay, stop right there. Stop right there. We don't know what CBT,
uh,
DBT, ABC, you and me, BBD, the East Coast
yes,
family. Sorry, 90 girls here.
exactly. All right. So CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy, which is like the most common one that's utilized now. And there's so many different other therapies that have come from that, like have come off of that, right? So that's a really good one for like anything related to trauma, depression, anxiety. It's the main one that we use when we're treating perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. So I'll just kind of leave it at that one. But therapy, like I said, you can go to a therapist for any reason. Okay, you can go to a therapist because you're dealing with grief. You can go to a therapist because you're not happy with your career. You can go to therapy because you lost a relationship. You could go to therapy because of a life change, getting married, having a baby, lost a baby. Like there's really any reason. And what the therapist is going to do is going to help you navigate whatever it is that you're dealing with, whatever it is that you're going through, give you good coping skills, which are just healthy ways of handling the situation and moving through the situation. They're also going to be an unbiased ear for you to talk to. Talk alone is a major healing thing, right? So having an unbiased person that you can just talk to, even if you consider it venting, is really beneficial. And then again, you're learning different tools and strategies. So like that five senses thing, there's a million other things like that we have in our toolbox to kind of give to you as a client to help you with whatever you're dealing with. So yeah, that's what I would say. I want people to keep that in mind. Like, yes, you can also have severe mental health things going on and also see a therapist. Of course, that's a thing as well. But there's also this category here that people don't talk about as much.
I love that. Ashley, you're my new best friend.
Thanks.
Listen, I feel like I need a friend that's a therapist. I'm pretty sure that's against the total rules. I'm sure it is. However,
Just want to be my friend because of that.
yes, because I just want to see you at like.
Yes.
We're gonna hire Ashley because she's the best. So I got a few more closing questions for you.
Yes.
I want to think about this as we sort of move beyond Black Maternal Health Week. How do you think individuals can and communities can work together to sort of dismantle some of these systemic barriers to ensure that Black mothers actually receive the mental and physical health care that they deserve?
That's a mouthful.
I know. I'll ask it again.
Please.
Basically, in a nutshell, how do we fix this broken system?
Yes. That's the question. That's the question. I think a good step is things like this, right? Just us having these conversations, having candid conversations, having conversations with your girlfriends, with your partner, just in general. And then providers just having conversations among themselves and just kind of looking at what's going on and seeing what we really can do. I think everyone on each level can contribute something, right? So if we're starting from, you just being a support person to someone who's pregnant, there's things that you can do, right? Show up for them, help them, take something off their plate. Make sure they have food to eat, make sure that they can take a break. Like those little things right there are you already helping the system, because again, stress is a main factor for these perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. So anything you can do to take stress off of that mama's plate, whether she's pregnant or in her postpartum period, is helping, right? Then and being encouraging. So like I said, having those soft conversations and encourage and help if you see it necessary, and being supportive throughout that process. And then you on your own as a Black mama, just knowing, when something's not right, when you need a little extra help, and getting out of this have to be superwoman mentality to show up as best you can for yourself and your baby. Go ahead and actually get that help, because if you're not okay, you're really not giving the best to yourself or to your baby, right? So being okay with not being okay, like we said earlier, and then getting the help so that you can be okay. And I think on the provider level is, if you are actually in healthcare, you're actually a doctor, physician, it's checking your biases, and making sure that you are not part of the statistic, making sure that, just because you Black, that doesn't mean that you're not part of the problem. There's a lot of African American and Black providers who are also part of the problem. So, taking time to check and making sure that you actually are listening to your patients, because at the end of the day, we are the whole theme behind Black Maternal Health Week this year, right? Our bodies belong to us. So listen to the person whose body it is. But I'm really hopeful, because I think just in the past year, I've met so many people who are in the maternal realm in different ways, and everybody is just really trying to do their own part, creating different organizations, to spread awareness and have these candid conversations, and show up to policy day and come up with programs within your own organization to help. So I am really, really hopeful about the future.
Listen, you answer my next question. So, man, you're so good. You're so good. So I'm going to ask you a bonus question since you already answered that question. Here's my bonus question. One of the things that you said was getting the help that you need. So we also know that if you don't have healthcare, if you don't have insurance, that might be a barrier to getting the support that you need. Do you know of any free tools that a person could access right now if they know that they need the service, but they don't have insurance or something, or they're not quite ready to call the therapist? Like, is there something in between?
That's kind of difficult, because depending what's going on, the only thing that's going to probably help is professional help, you
Yeah.
know. And I will just say this, like, if you are having thoughts of hurting yourself or your child, just go to the hospital, call 911, regardless of your, your insurance situation. Because at the end of the day, we want you and baby to be okay, right?
Yeah.
But I think, some self-help things are, again, like just practicing mindfulness and journaling. Those are two main things I will recommend. If you can't talk to someone, then try to write it out. But there's a lot of support groups that are free. So like the PSI support groups, those are free. So you can go ahead and, start with that as well, because that way you're at least building community. And those groups are also led by licensed facilitators. So like a therapist or a counselor. And yeah, even sometimes if you don't have, like, a lot of providers do accept Medicaid, but even if you don't have Medicaid, if you go to the hospital, they're usually able to get you like a temporary kind of approval with Medicaid that may still be able to kind of get you the help that you need. So yeah.
So good. So one of the things you mentioned was the support group. And I wanted to know, is that a service that you provide? Do you provide like community events, or hey, we're having mama's night out, or we're
Yeah.
having a mix and mingle? Is that something that you do at
Yeah.
Blossom and Grow?
Yes, thanks for asking about that. So I have done support groups in the past, and I do want to get one back on the schedule on a regular basis. I've just been trying to figure out the time that seems to work for everyone. So if you are watching and you're interested, please go ahead and reach out to me and let me know. But we have done new mom support groups that have been free of charge, and we do a lot of different events. And coming up in May, I'm going to have events at the center every month. I mean, every week, pretty much, just for.
Your
Hmm?
Okay, tell us about your center. Where are you located? Number one, because we're like, oh my goodness, we really love Ashley. Ashley is
Yeah.
our people. Ashley seems like we just want to come over and just cuddle and hug Ashley because she just
There's plants at my
and
center.
there's plants. She's a plant mom, so she must be good people.
Yes,
Talk
yes.
about
So
your center.
I'm in Columbia, Maryland.
Okay.
So that's where I'm located, and we have yoga classes Tuesday through Thursday and Saturday mornings right now. And yeah, I'm gonna have different events going on in May for Mother's Day. So I am having like a couples yoga night. I'm doing like a yoga and mimosas event. I'm doing a couple mommy and me yoga classes, and I'm gonna take them up to 7 because most mommy and me yoga classes are only for infants. So I had a request for older kids. So if you have toddlers or kids up to 7, you will be able to bring them and do yoga with them there. So a few different things. So definitely hop on the website, which is blossomandgrowwellness.com, and you'll see all my events. The newsletter is a great way to kind of stay alert of what I'm doing. And the best way really is Instagram, because that's where I post everything first, which is at BAG Wellness Center.
She's a pro, guys. She is a pro, because the follow-up question she already answered. So if you want to find Ashley, first you need to go to her website. Can you say it one more time for us?
Yes, blossomandgrowwellness.com. I know it's a
Okay.
mouthful.
So Blossom and Wellness, whatever she just said,
blossomandgrowwellness.com.
we're going to put it in the captions and all of the show notes and all those things like that, so you can find her. And then on social media, you said Bag Wellness.
Yep, BAG Wellness Center.
Bag Wellness Center.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you have an email address?
I do. It's Ashley at blossomandgrowwellness.com.
See how easy that was?
Yes.
And then if you go to her website, she has that newsletter. So make sure you sign up for the newsletter, because that's going to tell you about all the events. I'm pretty sure in those newsletters, she's giving you some helpful tips and all kinds of things going on with that. So you want to make sure that you follow her, and also tell her if you want her to start those mommy meetups again, because she said it was free, and free is for me. Free is for everybody, right? If you don't like free, then what are you doing with your life? Right. Right. So closing thoughts, is there anything that you want to leave us with? Like, is there a message of hope or action that you want to leave with our listeners today?
Yeah. I think I just want to say, that anything that you're going through is something that you can accomplish. Nothing that is put in front of you is something that you are not capable of dealing with. It's just knowing that inside of you, you have everything you need to survive everything that you're going through. Around you, you have the resources that you need. And I really want to encourage all Black moms to really tap into their support network. Really, really lean on them, especially if they're already reaching out. I know it can be hard for you to reach out, but if they're reaching out and asking for help, or asking if you need help, excuse me, accept that. I think that's just, if I could really think of maybe like two main things I want to say accept the help and meditate. Like those are the two main things. Accept the help and meditate, practice mindfulness, something in some kind of way, and drink your water.
And mind your business while you're at it. I think this has been an absolutely delightful conversation. And I'd love to bring you back on again because you talked about a lot of things. You talked about the five senses. You talked about the mindfulness. And I know that we hear these buzzwords like mindfulness and meditate. Is that me just going, or closing my eyes and just sitting there and then my mind's all over the place? So I really would love to bring you back and just actually do like a live workshop of us actually practically doing those things, because it's one thing to hear it, it's another thing for you to like practically show me how to do that. Like, how do I sit and do the five senses? Like I need to sometimes need to be shown how to do that, because I can get so in my head that this is too hard, I don't know how to do that, I don't even know what that means, that I don't do anything at all.
Absolutely.
So this has been absolutely incredible, Ashley, and I'm so grateful that you opened up your calendar to have these important conversations with us. And I'm so excited about all that you're doing with Blossom and Grow Wellness Center. So please check her out, find her on the socials, find her on the emails, find her on the website. She's not on MySpace because that went away a long time ago. She's not there anymore. And she's located in Columbia, Maryland. So that means if you are anywhere in the DMV, you can get to Ashley. Okay. So she's just by the way, do you do virtual appointments?
I do. I do virtual therapy.
Boom. See, you can be anywhere and get to Ashley. So this is not just for DMV. This is for everybody.
Yes.
Everybody. So thank you again, Ashley, for joining us today. And we will be back tomorrow with another guest. And we'll be back on Wednesday as well. So make sure you tune in, you hit the little notifications bell, you do all the things to make sure that you are not missing these important conversations. But most importantly, if you found something that really resonated with you and you said, hey, I really need some help, I really think that I really need these types of things, I think I need to start seeing a therapist, do not delay. Don't delay. Do it right now. Take a little bit of time for yourself, make the appointment, do what you need to do. And as always, SheRises is here for you. Blossom and Grow Wellness Center is here for you. And there's an entire community rooting for you, because we know that when we put in the work, amazing results happen. So thank you so much, Ashley, for joining this evening. And we will see you guys back tomorrow. Bye.